Ron Harris here from MuscularDevelopment.com with coverage of the 2017, that's the year it is, guys, IFBB Tampa Pro, brought to you by High Tech Nutrition. I'm standing here with a couple legendary forum members, journalist Giles Thomas over there, Big Mike Cox here. I'm going to start things off talking about, we had three big divisions today. We had figure, bikini. Bikini was a Janet Legg show. We'll get an interview with her later. I want to focus on the open men because that was, of course, the main attraction today. First call out, not a lot of surprises. So the first call out today was Henri Pierre-Arnaud from Quebec, Canada, Big Max Charles from New York, the young kid from Ontario, Regan Grimes, of course, the monstrous Joshua King of the Gym Lenarkowitz from Australia, first show of the year, qualifying for the Olympia, and from Las Vegas, Nevada, An Jung. I saw this completely as the Josh Lenarkowitz show. He's monstrous, he's shredded. This was his only chance to qualify for the Olympia. Gamble for some people, not for him. He nailed it. Boom. That's how I saw it. Max Charles was called out in a final comparison with Josh, but from the waist down, no offense to Max, Josh just dominated. Legs were monstrous. Max's legs are getting better all the time, but Josh's legs, whole other level. Mike Cox, what did you think about this?
Josh, he lived up to the hype. Going into the show, he was the favorite. We all knew that. He looked phenomenal. When he walked out, he was dry, hard. He's got good shape. He's got better shape than I thought he had. His waist is actually not very blocky at all. Fine detail. Glutes weren't 100%, but, you know, it's good enough to win. Max brought it. He's got a great physique, wide shoulders, but his lower half can't compare to Josh. Josh looked phenomenal. Also, An Win finally is getting some love. This kid, if he comes in shredded, he's placing top 5.
You know, I remember I was at the Nationals when he turned pro, and I remember saying, wow, he wasn't even 100% there when he turned pro, and he beat, I don't know, 30 or 40 light heavies. I said, this guy with the structure and the shape, he's going to be something else when he finally gets it together. And it looks like he's just about there. He's
starting to pull it together. He's still maybe 3-4 weeks off. But once he does, the sky's the limit. Just guys like this you root for because he's got all the tools. It's also good seeing a fresh face up there in the first top 5 call out. The guy from Kuwait looked phenomenal as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we forgot to mention Abdullah. Abdullah, do you know his last? Yeah, well, you can talk more. You know about these other guys. Tell me what you thought of Abdullah.
I thought he was fantastic. I thought he had a beautiful, kind of like a classic structure. I think he had the best condition up there, along with Max. I thought Max's condition was very good. But this, what's his name? What's his Abdul?
Yeah, the score sheet I have, he's not on. He's on the one, but it was Abdullah something or other from Kuwait. I'm sure you guys will figure out who he is.
He was fantastic, but I was very surprised that Rashid was not in the first call-out. That kind of confused me a little bit. But yeah, I've got it different to you. I don't think this is going to be a clear win. In fact, I think Max is hot on his heels because Josh is not as sharp as I think we like to see him. I think I'm not saying he's going to lose, but I think it'd be interesting to see what happens at the finals because if Max because Max was improving the more he was posing, and I like his physique, I like his small joints, I like his pop to his shoulders, and he was stood there in the sharp separation.
Hell, he's got a hell of a physique. You can't take anything away from Max Charles. Do you think that it's possible that the plan for Josh was to come in here at 90%, smaller show, get his Olympic qualification 6 weeks from today? Because had he peaked today 100%, you know, knowing the human body and everything involved in pro bodybuilding, it would be pretty difficult for him to duplicate that in 6 weeks. So any inkling you think he had that in his mind?
Totally disagree.
Disagree.
He should come in at 100%. When it's the last show, you do not come in at 90% because he could get his ass kicked today. I love Josh. I saw him at the Olympia last year. I thought he over-dieted for the Olympia. He didn't impress me as much as he did when he did the Arnold, when he got 3rd. But this is the Josh that I wanted to see at the Olympia last year. He is so big. I mean, he's got a nice shape, like Mike said. You know, he has got a really good shape. But I'm telling you, around the glutes and the hamstrings, there's a good 2, 3, maybe 3, 4, 5 pounds to come off, and that's where Max could maybe pip him, I'm telling you. And, you know,
I think Max deserves a little extra credit here because this guy's been competing all year. He started the season off first weekend in March, and we're into August now. So by the time the Olympia rolls around, this guy would have been dieting for 9 months, 10 months. So that can't be easy, even for a guy like Max who by all accounts, has a pretty fast metabolism.
Eating is 1 meal a day.
Yeah, 1 meal a day. I know he hates hearing about that, but I'm going to keep saying it. Also want to give out special mention because Henri Pierre-Arnaud and Regan Grimes, both great shape. You know, Henri, it's crazy to see. He's not the biggest guy at all. But wow, the shape and structure really comes through on him. Were you impressed with Henri?
I was very impressed with him because, again, like the Q80 guy, he had a very pleasing shape. You know, when he was stood in the lineup, he had a small waist. He had the kind of like the kind of 70s bodybuilder look with, you know, the classic shape. It's just I'd like to see a little bit more width in his legs from the front because he's got it everywhere else, but he just needs a bit more meat on his legs, a bit of width. But I was just talking to Mike there about Regan Grimes. I mean, we all saw the pictures when he got second in Vancouver. Yeah, and I was like, how did he get second? He looks so small. And I tell you what, he is not small. That kid is big. I couldn't believe that was the same guy because
it's like Dorian. Dorian never translated into photos, and it's a strange phenomenon. But some of these guys, when you see the context pictures, you're like, okay, he's pretty good, but I don't get it. But then if you're actually sitting in the front row, and this goes back to the argument we have all the time on the forums, you had to be there. It really is different, and I can't explain why, but there is a phenomenon. People do look different sometimes. He's a good case. What did you think of Regan, the kid? 22, 23? 24, a kid.
I've been kind of critical on Regan. I didn't really see it in pictures, but just sitting there just now, he's a big kid, man. And on stage, it's kind of like Derek. He kind of blows up on stage. Does a vacuum, small waist. His legs are crazy looking. So if he just adds size slowly and doesn't rush it, like sky's the limit for that kid. I mean, he's really good on. You know, like I said, I wasn't a huge fan, but you know, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid now.
Now, to my cohort at MD, fairly new cohort, Christian Duke, he predicted Regan for the win. I should have bet him more money. And this is nothing against Regan. I think the kid's going to be really amazing in time. But I should have bet more because I would have cleaned up today. Because
where do you think? Maybe fourth, fifth?
I don't see him worse than fourth. You know, I see him ahead of Henri. Just a little thicker, a little more pleasing physique.
Okay, I'll tell you one physique that really impressed me, which kind of freaked me out, was Ann Nugent.
Yeah.
That guy just looks like he doesn't even look real. Right. The muscle, I don't know what, I mean, again, in photos, he looks really like soft when I've seen pictures. This is the best condition I've ever seen him in by a long shot. And it's all that shape and everything, the pop is really coming through with him now that he's got the condition coming. He's got those crazy muscle bellies that, again, you have to see in the flesh. I don't know what he needs to do, whether he needs to maybe tighten it down further, suck it down maybe to sort of get the more deeper separation. But I mean, as far as just freak factor, and he's got a really nice shape. But and also, I said it before, is Rashid really impressed me. I was kind of at the side, maybe need to see him front on, but I just couldn't stop looking at his legs and his arms. I mean, imagine trading legs with Josh and Rashid. I wouldn't get my...
That's someone who's definitely going places. He wasn't 100% today. I would have liked to see him a little sharper from the back, but Rashid, but definitely very size, structure, shape.
What did you think?
I thought Rashid was overlooked. I would have him in the first call out. Not quite sure how he did make the first call out. I know it's his pro debut, but you need to judge the physiques, not the names. His physique, he walked on stage, he's got so much muscle. His quads, like I said, his back wasn't great. He wasn't 100% dry, but I would like to see him in that top 5 call out. He would have held his own in top 5.
Okay, well, we're wrapping. We're getting toward this thing's moving along. We're getting there. This is day 2. Finals start in a couple hours. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge, obviously, High Tech for sponsoring this and making it all possible for us. I want to thank you forum members for following along, also making this possible. And these guys, they weren't supposed to work.
Good to see these guys.
They're doing this totally as a favor, on the fly. Wasn't planned, but they've added a lot to the weekend. And also, you see me in front of the camera. You don't see the man behind the camera. Muscle Papa John Hawley. This guy has been kicking ass all weekend, getting so much content, getting it up and posted so fast. And that's critical because nobody has an attention span anymore. If shit's not up like immediately, they go, where is it? Well, it's up, and it's because of him. So for Ron Harris, musculardevelopment.com, we're going to be back in a few hours, less than a few hours, and see how this all shakes out. Yeah, buddy.